This is the Level Up Show, and I'm one of your hosts. My name is Andrew, and this is Mike, who's back this week from being a pussy last week and getting caught in a snowstorm.
No, he's right. I just didn't want to crash my car and die. It's okay.
But so we got a full house this week. So it's me and Mike, and this is Mark, one of our producers we just decided, and Kristen is back again this week, another one of our producers.
I'm Bogey.
And this is a transient named Dan.
Transient.
And this is our good friend Dan.
So welcome to the show.
For the holidays.
Right.
If you don't know, if you haven't joined us in the previous 2 weeks, this is our third episode, and we are a gaming-centric stream, but we will branch off into a few other subjects. We might talk a little bit of TV, a little bit of movies, but whatever TOS for Twitch is that we have to stay gaming-related. So we don't want to get banned. We got banned on our first episode, and we don't want that to happen again. No. But if that does happen, if we do get banned, if we get shut down out of nowhere, jump right over to Ustream, because that's what we're going to do. We're just going to go right on Ustream and continue right where we left off, and hopefully we get a lot of you people back.
More so over than that, what I can stress to everybody is, if you like us, even if you don't like us and you just want to troll us, it doesn't matter. Add us on Twitter, at The Level Up Show, LVL for Level. Follow us on there. We have a Facebook page. Both of our links are on the top of our comment section, I believe.
And I said this last week, but I'll say it again. We are now doing podcasting. We have a little thing recording us right now, and you'll be able to find us each week on iTunes, but you'll also be able to find us on a Google Drive, which is linked right on our Twitch page, because that's going to be where most of the big archive is. Right. On iTunes, we can only have 1 or 2 episodes on there at a time. We don't have a lot of bandwidth, so that's what we're going to do. Right. So this week, we have a lot of news stories, but the big one, and I think this is probably going to occupy most of our time, is the NPD results for this week. So let's go straight into...
Why don't we start actually with some of the cheaper, lower end ones, just because we only have a few people in here. We'll go into that one since it's going to be a big discussion later. Good job, Glickman.
A lot of the lower level ones? You mean like the Wii U?
Yeah, I more so want to talk about is Point F, where we talk about the kid duped on eBay.
Oh, you want to start off with some
lower end news level that no one cared about as much, but it was still kind of interesting.
It was a nice story.
It was a nice story. It's a good way to start off the day, I think.
Go ahead. Say what happened.
So if those of you out there have heard anything about horror stories from eBay or anything like that, so fall right into that. A guy had accidentally purchased what was apparently a picture of an Xbox box.
This happens here and there on eBay.
Happens all the time. So it made a big joke out of it. A bunch of sites had it up on their thing, main story, stuff like that. So the cool ending to that was Microsoft actually decided to send him a free Xbox One on top of him getting back the money he spent on said picture from eBay. Yeah. So this guy essentially got a free Xbox One out of it for being duped so bad.
This was, maybe a week later when this happened?
Yes.
So do you think that Microsoft was kind of assessing the situation here? Kind of like looking at what people were saying, like, oh my God, is Microsoft going to do something from a PR standpoint?
I can't imagine this was the only situation like it. But I think this is the one because it got so much publicity. I don't think he's the only one that had this happen to him. So I think because they had an issue, and it was blown up on all these media sites that they took advantage of. They took
doesn't make it any less of a good story.
No, it's a great story. They can't do it for everything. It's not it's not a they're not a sympathy company.
Bogey's saying goodbye for now. It's being a little too rowdy.
Right.
Welcome, Terminator. I think I remember you from a previous week, so welcome back. I think.
Yes.
I think I remember you. But anyway, moving on from there, do we have any other smaller stories? How about this one? This is also a Microsoft story, and this turned out to be kind of a nice story that the Battlefield 4 members that have been experiencing a ton of network errors. This has been going on since launch.
I'm so jealous of this.
Is this exclusive to Microsoft? Or are they only
so I actually added the news, added some more on the story. So for those of you, I don't know if anybody on here is watching from their Xbox, which they can. Yeah. I don't know if you know, from their Xbox One. If you have Battlefield Premium for Xbox One, Microsoft will be refunding you money if you so choose. This is done directly through Microsoft. It's not through EA. It's not through DICE. People like me who are sitting and have it for PS3. I'm still SLL.
Are you having issues with it?
Yeah, well, I have Premium, and I've had it technically for over a week, and I haven't been able to get anything for it because it's having so many issues. It's not registering me as a Premium member. Okay. So this is only for Microsoft, and it's only for Xbox One. It's not even for 360. So I'm thinking that they don't have as many issues on the 360 as they do on the one console. So
I'm going to comment on that. I need a new MGS and Fallout in my life. All right, so MGS, you have a new MGS coming. You've got Metal Gear Solid. There's two kind of things. You got Phantom Pain, which is the big overall Metal Gear Solid 5. But then you also have what's the kind of prequel, the one that kind of sets up the story and is going to be a downloadable title. Do you know what that's called? Ground Zeroes.
Ground Zero, thank you.
Ground Zeroes, which is coming out early next year,
and that's
from
Microsoft?
what they're saying. That's everything. That's PS3, Xbox 360.
No, the DLC is Microsoft's exclusive.
Well, they've got DLC, and I talked about this last week. They've got it might be on this week too. Raiden is going to be the kind of exclusive DLC for Microsoft, and it looks like it's kind of like a body snatcher situation where Raiden comes in, and it's ridiculous, and it doesn't. It's not at all canon to the Metal Gear Solid storyline, but that's Microsoft's big thing for Ground Zeroes. Sony, on the other hand, has a, what do you want to call it, deja vu mission that they're calling it, where you get to play as old school Polygon Snake, and it's really vague. Like, they haven't really kind of given us any details on what that means. If you're actually playing a Shadow Moses incident mission within the Metal Gear Solid Ground Zeroes environment, I think that's what it's going to be, but I don't think anyone knows for sure yet. I think everyone right now is kind of like, I like the Microsoft downloadable content better, which is really surprising. Like, this is kind of a Sony-esque franchise.
Right, that they're letting this go that way, but hey, whatever, it's going to happen.
That's what happens, yeah. And as for Fallout, that was the other one that the guy mentioned. There's been a lot of rumors lately about a Fallout 4.
And unfortunately, everybody was hoping that it was going to be a reveal at VGX, that giant debacle of a situation last weekend. Not even going to go into it. God, I was so mad.
We went into it a little bit
I know
when you were here.
I'm so mad I wasn't there for it.
It was terrible.
I digress. Fallout 4 was, hinted and rumored. Supposedly it was a fake website that it was online, so I don't know if you knew that. But there's still supposedly rumors going around that it's still in development.
Well, Kotaku put out a story that pretty much is saying 100%. It is happening.
I'm guaranteeing
it's in Boston.
It's happening.
Boston, Massachusetts is what the Kotaku story said.
Right.
That's as far as I know right now.
Yeah, and I knew that, and I knew all about that. The biggest letdown was that there was a teaser site that had been up,
that turned out
to be a fake. That's what I was talking about. But yes,
$20.99.
I would like to interrupt.
Sure, go ahead.
So someone has just told me from the upstairs.
The background music's loud.
Yes,
we can't change anything on that, unfortunately.
It's so loud. You might want to just address it.
Background music is loud, and that's just kind of a flaw of this system right now, and hopefully Sony rectifies that. But we're kind of doing a loop around right now to get this to work, where we're working through the Playroom, as I think most of you know, and that's why we can't turn down the background music. You guys are hearing the stupid little jingle robot stuff in the background right now. I'm sorry about that. Nothing we can do about it. If you want to hear a clearer version of this, you can listen to the podcast starting either probably tomorrow or the day after that.
More so than that, if there's anything you missed, just listen to it. We'll have our links up for that as well throughout the thing. And just to put in there again, we have more people in there. We are going to be giving away a couple things tonight. We are going to be giving away both a copy of Slender the Arrival,
which is for Steam.
Which is going to be for Steam, so anybody on Steam can download that, as well as
Doki Doki Universe, which is really cool because it's a cross-buy game, which means you get it on PlayStation 3, PlayStation Vita, and PS4 if you enter in this code into any of those systems. And it's a really neat-looking game, actually. It's I'm not sure what studio it's done by, but it's kind of like a social experiment of sorts where you're supposed to kind of go through these interactions with people, and it has a really interesting art style, but it's kind of a very experimental game. But I think it looks like it's worth checking out. So we'll be giving that away at the end of the show.
Yeah.
And Mark will kind of be sharing with everyone how to get in on that opportunity. So from there, let's go on to a story that isn't as big as some people are making it out to be. But whistleblower Edward Snowden has revealed that the NSA has access to all Xbox Live communications and has been monitoring them since 2008. So this is something people have been kind of worried about for a while now, with Kinect especially.
Right, and this is something that's been talked about the entire week so far.
Which is why we don't want to spend too much time on it.
I'm not going to spend too much time going into it. But that being said, it is worth talking about. I think, I'll be honest with you, I'm just going to go out there. I don't care. I really don't care. If they're bored enough...
Even if they're watching you through the Kinect, you don't care?
I feel bad for whoever's watching me. I feel bad for you guys for watching me.
Yeah.
I don't know why people would want to watch me. Yeah. I don't want to watch
because me. I mean, really, this is about safety as far as I can tell. This isn't people just spying on you. This is for looking for terrorist activity.
Right, and so I don't have any worry about that. The biggest issue is going to be, the Kinect, and that's everybody's big worry. Are they going to be able to see me while I walk around in my underwear?
Yeah.
And again,
maybe they can.
Right, and
but really, who cares?
But who's going to again? It's creepy and it's uncomfortable.
Some people do.
Right, some people do. I know two people behind this. I don't care. I don't care.
Yeah.
But I think that's just how I am personally. I had that personality where...
It's not as big of a deal now. It was a bigger deal when Microsoft was enforcing this always online, always connect, included situation where everyone was going to have it in front of them and always online. Then it was a little bit of a it almost seemed like they were partnering with this kind of thing, and that was a little bit more of a situation.
But now this has come out, when you really sit and think about it, I think all it comes down to is all they're monitoring is your chats. They're doing it on
and not just your Xbox Live.
It's World of Warcraft. And I'll tell you right now, these are the ones that were talked about because they're the most popular. But it could be anything. It could be Star Wars: The Old Republic. Or even DC Universe Online. It doesn't really matter what it is. They're going to be watching you probably some way, somehow, if they want to. But everybody's been talking about it for the past week. And I think we just needed to cover it. I think it's more of a worry than...
We're done with it.
Yeah.
I don't
want to talk about it anymore. That's done.
And what's that movie where people look through the hole in the wall?
Look through the hole in the wall.
Is
what?
It 7?
Psycho?
No.
Are you sure it's not Psycho? I think it's Psycho.
Psycho, they're looking through a shower, but...
It might be.
That one's nice, too.
In 7, though, was there a hole in the wall?
Oh, I think I know what you're talking about. There was kind of I don't want to go into this, but there was a creepy look.
Oh!
That was Lust, I think.
Yeah,
that was Lust, where he's looking kind of through, and that was a disgusting
that was really creepy, actually.
What's in the box?
What's in the box?
It's a matter of principle. I like this. It's a matter of principle that we have no privacy.
What does that even mean? I'm not sure.
I think what he's getting at, it's just... That's why they're uncomfortable with it, that we don't have a choice.
Okay.
In it.
No,
I think that's the only problem everybody has. And again, I think that's the only part of it that I would have, is that even if I wanted to have a choice of having no privacy, or having privacy, I don't have any.
Yeah.
It's not out of my control.
No, I can completely understand that mindset. Well,
all right, so why don't we start going in order now?
Well, actually, I think we should we're on an Xbox roll right now, Microsoft.
Okay.
So let's stick on that.
Okay.
And let's go on to Timothy Longo takes over as...
How is this Xbox?
Because he takes over as creative director on
because he was
343 Industries, making the next Halo game.
Right.
And this guy was just creative director on Tomb Raider. So this guy, he's climbing the ladder, man.
He came out of nowhere too.
Yeah.
This is, Tomb Raider was not expected to be successful.
But why would they go for this guy? What do you think?
If you haven't, so you're not a fan of the Halo universe. I've been into it.
Don't say that. It's just that I've never played them.
All right, so you never played them. You're just not into it.
Okay, I'll yell.
But that being said, after Halo 3 came out, obviously Master Chief's role for the series in the role that he played was pretty much done. So they had to kind of figure out how they were going to integrate him into the universe again without the role that he was playing on Earth's Savior. So I think this is going to be more of a story-centric Master Chief, story-centric Cortana situation.
Mm-hmm.
So I actually am more interested in this now than I was in Halo 4.
Mm-hmm.
I was only interested in Halo 4 just because it's a Halo game.
Well, as a creative director, he probably had a lot of input on the traversal within the Tomb Raider game,
and that's
right? So maybe they could incorporate some interesting traversal elements
into
Halo.
About Halo, as far as changing the dynamic of how it works, is making it not open world in the sense that you can do anything.
Yeah.
But you played Tomb Raider?
I played Tomb Raider. Right? I beat it. It was great.
And so something like that, where you have your areas that are going to be important that you're going to need to go to, but you can also go back to other areas to retrieve the information that's needed. And I think that would actually add a unique, twist to it. So.
I thought that was interesting information, especially with last week. There was 2 acquisitions as well. It just seems like there's a lot of news of that happening right now. Last week it was Killzone. Guerrilla Games got a new guy in.
Yeah.
And I don't want to go into it again, but there's just been a lot of acquisitions, so I thought that was worth mentioning.
Yeah.
On from that, let's go to another Microsoft story. How about the Xbox One digital titles going up in price in the UK?
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. I'm actually not sure what's going on with that. I'm not sure.
Do you know what the increase was? I think it was like $5, right?
It was
$5.
Yeah, it was $5. It's just I'm not understanding why that was a needed situation.
Maybe when at launch they wanted to get everyone going oh, these are the prices, they're great prices, and then okay, never mind, guys, going back up.
No, because it's only in Europe.
It is only in Europe, yeah.
It's only in Europe. It's only on 3 titles. It's only on their 3 main, Sorry.
I was reading that as well from Welshie talking about new IPs from Microsoft.
Yeah.
And that kind of relates to something we talked about last week because there was kind of a little bit of like a console war conversation going on with Sony kind of building studios and making new IPs as opposed to Microsoft that's kind of Call of Duty, Halo.
Right, and that's what I was actually talking about with a bunch of people earlier today and throughout the last week and everything like that is, people...
Some people like that, though.
Right, and some people like that. In last console generation, Microsoft took advantage of and made a lot of money off of, we need to focus on shooters. We need to focus on this type of genre. And they cornered the market with that.
Yeah.
But Sony overall, I think everybody can
They're more diverse.
Agree. They're more diverse, and they had a lot more AAA titles that were really truly story wise at least.
And
AAA.
I think they didn't sell as well because there were so many of them. Mm-hmm. They kind of just spread themselves out a little thinner than Microsoft. Microsoft, you're pretty much each year you're waiting for Forza, Gears of War, Halo, Call of Duty, which is very much associated with Xbox. So those games sell really well on that system.
Right, and it's also, they take advantage, it's just like sequels of a movie. Yeah. You see it with Halo, you see it with Call of Duty. It's going to come out every year, so people know it's a brand. It's a brand of its own. Whereas things like The Last of Us, no one knows what that is. And that had to build up word of mouth to actually get the excitement for it. Now, it took off like crazy, thank God. But, it's just one of those things that, they're not going to do it, and I'm glad of that. Uncharted was one of the only ones. Uncharted 3 finally came out, and it's, everybody knew Uncharted by that point, so bam, everybody was going to get it. But Sony does very good at giving
Yeah, that's their one series that I think they're kind of banking on as a Microsoft-esque, this is a brand that they're trying to establish. I think God of War was one of them, but I think they kind of went in the wrong direction with Ascension, and maybe they'll try and pull back in the right direction.
I hate that game.
I know, and I think a lot of people hate God of War, but it does have a huge following. Right. So I think those are the two series, maybe Last of Us too, if they keep going with that. But Uncharted and God of War are like the mascots of sorts of Sony right now. If they want to have like their AAA
I still say the mascot needs to be Sackboy.
No, I agree.
I think
I
that's
completely
a fun,
agree with that.
All right, this is we're getting
going off
topic,
subject.
So
is there any other Microsoft news that we kind of?
I don't think so. Nothing
Thank
specifically.
You everyone for joining us on
I'm kind of going off like this whole Call of Duty conversation, how it's associated with Microsoft. I really want to get into MPD now because that's I think what makes MPD
I
so
think we should just go in order now of what we have written down. So this is going to be probably our biggest talking point of the news segment at the very least for the night.
So I'll go down. I'll just go down the line pretty much and talk about all of the MPD results.
MPD being.
I don't know what it stands for. Do you?
No, I was hoping that you did. Basically, it's just sales figures. Essentially, it's sales figures, sales numbers.
U.S. Sales figures.
U.S. This is, mind you, this is
I should know what that stands for, but I actually don't.
This
it kind of sucks because it used to be that they gave like exact numbers for everything, but since then it's kind of been up to like analysts and whatnot to kind of decipher what the numbers actually are. But we do have some pretty hardcore numbers this time around. Overall retail sales up 7% year over year. Obviously, that's attributed strongly with the new console releases. Hardware sales up 50% year over year, again.
Which is, again, new consoles. So
obviously.
Expected.
But software sales down 24% year over year.
Which is very surprising given a new system that only plays the new titles.
Definitely.
So you need to have these new... The only thing I can think of is there were a lot of games that were given for free, right away.
And just it's become stale with PS3 and Xbox 360, and not a lot of people are going to jump into next gen, so it's going to take a little time.
This is going to be a slower year and I kind of expected it, but at the same time, it is a little surprising how down it is compared to other years.
Definitely. So actual hardware sales numbers, PS4, we don't have an exact number right now, but estimated at about 1.1 to 1.2 million. Right. So that is the best-selling console of November. I think most people expected this. It did come out a week earlier than the Xbox One, so don't attribute that to PS4 winning the console war already.
Right.
Don't go there yet.
Well, Xbox One was also the fastest.
There you go.
Right.
And that was actually released first, and everyone's like, oh my god, Xbox One outsold PS4. But it was only out a week less.
Here's one of the things that really interested me is that the official numbers are, from Microsoft have come in, and we had the numbers from PS4 more recently. This was actually really surprising to me. That in 18 days, Xbox One has 2 million units sold.
Yeah.
PS4 in 14 days sold 2.1 million units.
Yeah.
Again, PS4 so far has outsold the console. So it seems like so far from what I've seen,
it seems like a little,
but that's really close. And this is very surprising because everybody was assuming, especially in the retail industry, as well as even the gaming industry for a little while, it seemed that everybody was assuming Microsoft was going to be dead for a little while at the beginning. They were going to have.
I think that was a little foolish to think because in the end, every single one of these consoles is going to sell. Right. They're going to be sold out, and that's the way it is. They're going to ship as many as they can. They're going to sell out, and then next year you're going to start seeing consoles left
Right.
on shelf. That's when you're going to start seeing the situation where, okay, now we know who's not buying what. Like,
Right.
because right now it's excitement. Everyone is just excited about the console next gen cycle,
Right.
and they just want to pick up whatever they can. So you're going to see them both sell out. So whatever they ship, that's what you're going to see in MPD,
Right.
and that's
Right.
what's happening. You're seeing whatever shipment.
And from what I hear is they're selling out for the most part. They're selling it. Everybody says, "Oh no, my Best Buy or whatever has them." Everybody's going to have them, and you just might have gotten in when they had a shipment come in.
Well,
but they've been going and
that's another
going
part of this
constantly.
story, because everyone's like, you're saying that's the Xbox One that people are talking about being left on shelf, but supposedly Microsoft is shipping a lot more units to America than Sony is. Sony
Yes.
is really trying to spread out their
Yep.
units, and Microsoft is focusing entirely on UK, entirely on USA.
Which I think that actually is a good segue right now into breaking off into the review about the Europe situation.
Oh yeah, as far as how many they're selling.
No, about the quarter 3. Supposedly how Microsoft is supposedly. This is what I heard. I thought it was in here
Go
as
ahead,
well.
yeah. I'm not sure.
Microsoft supposedly now is not expecting to actually launch the Xbox One until quarter 3 of this coming year.
This is just a rumor,
right.
But it was, I'll say who reported it was Game Reactor, but they were 100% correct on another delay that happened with the Xbox One.
Right.
So they might have a source that is giving them real
on the
knowledge.
inside and has knowledge of this.
So,
and that's really worrisome.
Yeah, it is.
And we can go into that a little bit more. Why don't we finish the MPD? I just want to say, because that's a very interesting topic.
Yeah, sure. Okay, so after that, Xbox One was at 909K, fastest selling because it sold 101K per day. It was only out for nine days in America at that point. So fastest selling Xbox One, best selling PS4. 3DS was down below that at 770K. Xbox 360 below that at 647K. Wii U down at 220K.
This is abysmal.
I want to put this in perspective for people. Dreamcast lasted 3 years. The first year it sold 245K. The second year it sold 192, and the third it sold 256, and then you never saw it again.
Right.
So,
and that was the last year Sega really did anything.
Wii U is below that. That is crazy.
Scary.
Yeah, that's scary. They're not Sega. They're not Sega.
Yeah.
We keep saying they have a huge war chest. They've got billions of dollars to waste. Like, they have stockholders. They need people to please.
Right.
But they're not going anywhere. But that is worrisome. That is really low.
I have a topic that we could talk about next week. I think I know what I want to go into. But there's some interesting situations that could come from is Ghost worth buying?
Is Ghost worth? I wouldn't be able to tell you.
It's good. If you like Call of Duty, go ahead and get it.
Xbox or PS4, which is best?
PS4 is better.
PS4 actually has a very, very, very good frame rate, as well as the graphic. Compare side by side.
Now they have a very good frame rate. It was kind of a funny story. If you guys didn't know that,
awful.
Their frame rate was above 60 frames per second, which was causing stuttering.
Right.
People were like, "Oh my god, the PS4's version is worth it. It has frame rate stutter." And then Activision came out and said that they didn't expect this, but they were going up to like 75 frames per second.
Right.
They weren't locking it at 60 like you're supposed to, and that was what was causing problems. That the frame rate was too high on PS4. So since then, they have supposedly fixed that. It's now 1080p fixed as well. That was another issue. They had to patch that in. So 720p for Microsoft Xbox One, 1080p for Sony PS4.
That being said, you're gonna graphically it's gonna be better. I'll tell you right now, you're probably gonna have a bigger Call of Duty base on Xbox.
You would be wrong, according to the NPD.
Really?
According to NPD and some research done on NeoGAF, shout out NeoGAF, I'm gonna go into some attach rates for you right now. Assassin's Creed 4, 70% on PS4 as opposed to 30% on Xbox One. Need for Speed Rivals, 48% on PS4, 17% on Xbox One.
No. Bad Timmy.
Bad Timmy.
Bad Timmy.
And the Madden NFL, 60 PS4, 40% Xbox One. NBA 2K, 65% PS4, 35% Xbox One. FIFA, 65-35, PS4 in the lead. And finally, NBA Live, 57-43. So attach rate wise, PS4 is up in every single category, sometimes 2 or 3 times.
Now here's what's a little unfair. Is this also including the upgrade offer that Sony is including?
They both have an upgrade offer.
Not exactly.
Really?
So they do, yes, but Sony's is very easy. I mean, they advertise it right on the front of the box with a giant sticker. Yep. It's a giant piece of paper on the inside. So it's right there. Everybody knows about it, and people talk. For Xbox, it's a partnership. It's not through Xbox, it's not through Microsoft. It's a partnership that Microsoft had made with retailers like Best Buy and GameStop. Yep. Now, I know for GameStop, you actually have to have a certain email. You had to have bought your game at GameStop in order to trade up for $10. Otherwise, they won't honor it.
Okay.
So,
but going off,
Andrew,
yeah, sure, go ahead.
El Nasty has a question. He wants to know if PS4 is going to get any good games.
Yes, Wiggly Bit.
If we're, I mean, it depends on the time frame.
Specific no ports.
No ports.
Okay, so March is going to be your first big launch, and that's going to be Infamous Second Son.
And don't forget Drive Club either, which is really starting to look good. That's looking like it could be.
I'm glad that they
killer
pushed it back. I'm not even
application.
lying to you.
Oh, definitely.
I was at first I was annoyed. I was like, really, you're taking this? But at the same time, I'm glad that more and more I look at it, especially with the almost like a second screenish, integration that you're going to be able to have.
If you haven't looked at the newest Drive Club videos, look at them in comparison to the videos that were coming out maybe 4 months ago. The leap in graphical quality is very impressive. Like it's like I can't believe that they've been able to improve it this much.
And I don't know if anybody out there was a fan of it when it first came out. I don't like racing games. I'm not. It's not. It's just. I'm not that I don't like them. I just don't care. Yeah. I won't put my time into it. But I actually want to play this game.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when it first came out, it looked gorgeous. And now that I've seen it, it's kind of like looking at the beginning stage of a PS3 to the end stage of PS3. It's phenomenal how much improvement they made.
I think at the beginning people were kind of doing Forza and that comparison, and they were pretty much equal. I'd say now Drive Club looks better.
Oh my god, it looks better than
it has dynamic lighting. First of all, Forza does not have dynamic lighting. Oh, definitely, yeah.
Oh my god,
definitely. Looks better.
And I want to say something real quick. So, I think it's Final Chaos. It was saying something about Nintendo catering to their demographic. I get that, and I don't think I'm going to go into it right now. I think next week I want to go into this. Nintendo is very out of touch with their core gamer audience because if you forget, I don't know how old you are currently. I was a core Nintendo demographic. Keep trying to switch to the new generations, and you're going to fail, and you're going to fail hard.
Right now, I think I actually disagree with that they're appealing to them because,
and I don't think they are either.
All they have is Mario so far.
Right,
they have a Wind Waker HD remake.
Well, I'll tell you. Here's
guy with the glasses should wear a tighter shirt.
Okay, I'll wear one next week, right for you.
With the just chest hair, just throw it out. Just get it all out there.
There we go.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Oh, maybe I can shave it on air.
This is getting really weird really quickly.
This is getting non-gaming centric.
Right. Alright, so getting back to it, I think we're going to go into that next week. I think we should say that for a topic of the week. I think I have a good idea why I want topic of the week.
But the reason this whole thing started was you were talking about Call of Duty selling better on Xbox One, and MPD does actually list the console in order of like which sold the best. It sold best on PS4. Call of Duty sold best on PS4. So maybe this is going to be a turnaround this time around. We might see that multi-platform titles are actually going to sell better on PS4 as opposed to Xbox One.
And not even multi-platform. Actually, the one really cool piece of information that I think I got out of all the MPD, software-wise at least, is this last fact that Killzone Shadowfall. Mm-hmm. Now, this is a great relief for me and probably for you because I know you like it as well.
Yep.
This is actually the best-selling exclusive, not just on the PS4. They only had, NAC? But on both consoles, over Rise, Dead Rising, and Forza.
Yeah.
Not only does Forza have a really big following, but Rise actually, people were really excited for that I know of.
Didn't have the best reviews, but they were still excited.
Right, and Dead Rising, a lot of people like the whole zombie genre, so they're going to go for it. So Killzone Shadowfall, and even more surprising is Killzone 3 was not received very well.
No.
Both by the audience and the reviewers. So for them to be able to have come back out of almost nowhere, and be the most successful out of all of 5 of the exclusive games.
I think what attributes to that the most is just that was the one big exclusive at launch for PS4.
And so I think it did sell more.
I think people really just grabbed onto that. But even though that was the best-selling exclusive of launch, that doesn't mean it was even on the top 10. Here are the top 10 software sales for the month of November. Call of Duty Ghost, of course, is number 1. I think everyone expected that. After that, you got Battlefield 4.
Again.
Then Assassin's Creed 4, Black Flag. Madden NFL 25. Grand Theft Auto 5. NBA 2K14. Skylanders Swap Force. I don't know anything about that, but okay.
Pretty cool.
Cool. Just Dance 2014. Disney Infinity.
I actually like that.
That's exciting. And FIFA. If you
FIFA
listened last
14,
week.
whoever
FIFA 14. So I think it's expected. This is typical American software sales chart right here.
Are you able to watch? Are you watching us right now?
Yeah, it's still going.
Even though it says 0, I know we have people. That's been happening a few times.
No, people were saying Billy was gone. Everybody.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I'm.
Let us know if it comes back.
This always comes back. And then if you're listening to me still, if you can still hear me, Mark just posted in the comments. If there's any issues, follow us at the Level Up Show, TheLVLUPSHOW on Twitter, or go to our Facebook page. Going to at the Level Up Show on Twitter, you'll be able to get all of our information right away. Any issues that we have, or even just new situations that are going on.
Well, Killer Daniel thinks that chick is hot, so he's seen something.
Okay, cool. So it looks like it's back, and it's coming back.
Well,
All right,
That's
so
my fiance.
cool.
What chick?
What chick?
What's Xbox One's bestseller?
Xbox One is bestseller. I think is Forza, if I remember right. Let me check for you real quick.
Welcome,
It should be.
Daniel.
I mean, with those graphics.
Yeah.
It
Word,
was.
final word.
Forza Motorsport 5 and Rise were
Video's back.
right below 200K. So those were the best-selling exclusives.
Wonder where it
Also, Knack sold 100, and you might think that's poor, but that's actually above expectations for Sony. They weren't
Right.
expecting Knack to be a big seller, and that's pretty much right around what they were expecting. And that is actually a really good game. If you are into kind of old school platforming action adventure games, pick up Knack for 30 if you can, or something like used, or wait for a PlayStation Plus deal.
Right.
That's a really fun game. Don't knock on it because of the reviews.
And actually, you know what? Here, cool, perfect segue. Next piece of information at Mega Man, just for you. Elder Scrolls Online. I think I'm one of the only 2 people in the room that want to get it. That is going to be released for PC and Mac in April 4/4 of 2014. So 4/4/14. They didn't release an exact day, but June of this year for the consoles. At Ghost Games, I beta tested it as well, although all I got to was character creation, and it kicked me out. That's going to happen. I just didn't have enough time to put more into it, but so far I'm loving it. I know it's not exactly your game, but hopefully
I'll try it out if I get the beta.
I think we get the beta on the PS4 first.
Okay.
So if you get it on there, yeah,
You're right.
For the consoles,
on
at least,
PS4 first.
it's on
Thanks,
PS4 first.
Onyx Ghost.
So yeah, that would be cool. I think you would like it, and I think it's something that we could definitely get.
Yeah, thank you, Onyx Ghost. We're doing our best.
Yeah.
Let's move on to
Go
the
back
last
up.
couple stories that we have.
Yep.
Next one was an interview with the Chinese Room. They're developing Everybody Goes to the Rapture, which was one of the big, exciting videos that they showed at their presentation. You're not excited for it?
I don't remember it. I honestly don't remember it.
Okay.
I didn't get a chance to look at this video, so I
When
apologize.
they first started talking about it, it's supposed to be like a post-apocalyptic, but actually, it's more pre-apocalyptic. The apocalypse is just about to happen. You're like an
Okay.
hour before it, and the original concept was that you have to replay that hour in loop over and over again, doing things differently before the apocalypse happens.
Okay.
So it was almost like a Majora's Mask-esque time limit. The
kind of like
world's about to end.
It's kind of like Groundhog Day on an hourglass.
Yes, it's like Groundhog Day for the apocalypse, pretty
Okay.
much. But this is where the story comes in, is that they actually changed that. That's no longer the concept. They're no longer going to have a time limit in this game, which I think is a little disappointing.
Right.
But
I think that actually adds a really interesting take on it.
There was
I
a-
don't like time limits.
It was an interesting twist, though, but pretty much this is the
It's a
quote
game.
from the guy.
I don't like it. It makes me nervous.
The interview with Chinese Room, they said, originally when we started the game, it was going to be an hour long for each playthrough. It would almost be like Groundhog Day or a 1201 type thing where you've got an hour. How far can you get? How much can you explore? Imagine reading a novel and you're really into it, and 30 pages before the end, someone comes and takes it out of your hands and goes, I'm afraid that's it. Your experience is over. Your time's up. It's an artificial conceit that doesn't necessarily produce a good player experience, probably more suited to an arcade-style game, but not really for a non-linear story-driven drama. So they're no longer doing that. I was kind of excited about that concept, but
Right.
I'm still excited about this game. I think it's going to be one of the big PlayStation 4 indie titles next year. So I hope something new comes out of it soon.
Cool.
After that, another Sony story.
This is actually pretty cool. I like this.
I'm excited about this too. It's just not because I played the games, but because so many people love this studio, and
And honestly, I just like the fact that Sony has so many really good in-house studios.
I agree.
Anybody a fan of
Studio Liverpool.
Thank you.
There you go. Studio Liverpool has been around for a very long time. They were originally called, let me think, I think it was Psygnosis, and they've been around since like the 80s.
Wow.
And then at the beginning, they make a lot of like futuristic style games, and then Sony bought them out, turned them into Studio Liverpool, and we started getting Colony Wars and Wipeout and G-Police and F1. So they did some of the best titles on the original PlayStation, and I think everyone kind of kept enjoying Wipeout further into the future. Problem was that they were shut down in that 1 year when there was a lot of studio shutdowns, along with Warhawk Developer was shut down that year. The ones who did that tiny brains or whatever game. I can't remember what it's called for Vita, but there was just a ton of shutdowns that year, and they were one of them, and people were really disappointed. But they became kind of like a spiritual successor to that, like their own studio called Fire Sprite, and they were still doing stuff, and they kind of came back over to Sony when they worked on the Playroom. They were a big part of developing this tech demo, if you want to call it that, and that kind of makes sense with like all like the RE like robot stuff and stuff like that. It kind of makes sense that they would be a part of that. So they're back with Sony now, and they're going to be making something. I don't know if it'll be Wipeout just because they never did that well.
Honestly, I'll tell you right now, it's probably going to be a new IP. It's going to be a new IP, and it's probably actually going to be for the PS4, not just for the small console.
No, I agree. I think it'll be a PS4 title.
It'll be a PS4.
Maybe they'll bring back one of those old ones. Though.
I'll tell you
like
right
Colony
now,
Wars.
It might even be that. I'll tell you right now, though, it's also probably going to have a lot of cross-buy integration with the Vita.
Yeah,
because of their work with both the Playroom, integration as well as the Wipeout on the on the Vita itself. I'll tell you, it's probably going to have a lot to do with both the PS4 and your Vita for those of you that are lucky enough.
Speak up.
So Liverpool has a lot of fans, and they should be excited that they're back with Sony. And we already covered Elder Scrolls Online.
The last one we have to do is
Shahid.
Yep.
Shahid, who is with Sony, he said that Sony is in negotiations for a major Vita title that has been requested for pretty much since launch. So the question is, what is this title going to be? My guess is it's going to be a port of Final Fantasy Type 0. If you don't know what that is...
requested that much, though?
Oh, yeah. Big time. That's one of the big ones that's being requested. That was a Final Fantasy title for PlayStation Portable that was released in Japan and got great reviews. It's kind of like a return to form for that franchise, and it never came to America, and people were pissed about it. But... they have something coming, something major, and I think that's what a lot of people are guessing it's going to be. But who knows? I know last time when they said they had a big like requested title coming, it turned out to be Borderlands 2,
right?
Which is a great title, so that was exciting. So hopefully something as big as that this time around. But that's it for our weekly update. That was like 15 stories, so that was a big one.
I think that's our longest so far, and I think it's probably going to be our longest one for a while.
Yeah,
probably till next year. So thank you for those of you who bared through that. There was a lot of information thrown at your face.
I put so much work into this podcast. I wrote all of their information, gathered it, wrote it.
Who has the PS4 controller? I have the PS4 controller because I'm on a PS4 right now.
Right.
But okay, let's move on to the next segment.
I don't know what that has to do with anything.
Let's move on to the next segment.
Wait, let's just thank Scotty for buying a PlayStation and watching us. Congratulations on your PlayStation.
Thank you.
Scotty.
Thank you, Scotty Power.
Good luck.
Actually, let's take a little pause for a second.
We
and
don't have legs.
We have 83 people now. We're kind of climbing slowly, but consistently. Right. And we are the Level Up Show. We are a gaming-centric stream on the PlayStation 4, but we're also on Twitch. And if you want to follow us, you can follow us on Twitter. We are at the Level Up Show with level spelled LVL. You can also find us on Facebook.com at Facebook.com/the Level Up Show.
Yep. Keep in mind too, for those of you that were at the beginning, thank you for staying up now. But those of you that are just coming in, we're going to be giving away a couple things today.
Actually, that's right now.
Right now, is that?
Yeah, let's give away.
I'm going to pick the winner.
All right, do me a favor. Kristen, hand me the code that's over on the table, the piece of paper over there.
So let's see what this is. This is for a Steam code for Slender: The Arrival, which looks like a horror game to me.
It's a horror game. If those of you that have Steam probably have played Slender, the first Slender. This is actually the sequel they made. It's it's a few bucks, but hey, it's a free game and it's freaky. If you want to play it while you turn out the lights,
drum roll.
We're actually going to have it for a Kristen segment, I think.
Okay, have her play it.
Killer Daniels only followed for the girl.
That's fine. I follow for you.
The way we're going to do this code giveaway is we're literally just reading it off, and it's up to you to put it in fast enough into your Steam or whatever and renew it. So it's first come, first serve, people. Who gets to it first? Go ahead,
So
Mike.
those of you that are ready, so it's 39 Kilo 3 Z L B F 00 W V W 2 T. So
read it off one more time, just for people.
All right, one more time, and then we're just gonna try to go a different way.
Ready.
So 39 K 3 Z L B F 00 W V W 2 T. So.
That is a very long code.
It's actually not that long. It's only 3 seconds.
Type it.
We're not doing it right now. If it's still not redeemed at the end of the show, we'll check. I guess we'll have someone go in and check.
It becomes active when you activate it. Is that what you're saying?
It becomes active when you
activate it. So you can't put it in right now, which is kind of unfortunate.
No. They can put it in right this second.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
Put it in right this second. So those of you that got it,
Popular.
Put it in now. Let us know if you redeemed it for yourself. Do us a favor, let us know and tell us what you think about it, and maybe we'll get you on the show.
Yeah, follow us on Twitter and tweet at us.
Can I post a 14-day trial for Xbox Live?
Wow.
That's great.
That would be amazing.
Why don't you wait and why don't you get in contact with Drew? I have an idea for you then. In that sense.
You don't want him to give it right now?
If he wants to get something out of it, I would say wait. If he doesn't mind giving away for free for nothing, he can give away right this second. But
that's up to you, Ghost.
Yeah,
you're welcome to give that away right now.
Yeah, but if you wait and get in contact with us, we'll give something to you as well.
So thank you. That's awesome, Ghost.
There you go.
All right, so let's move on to
free things.
Let's move on to our next segment, which is what you've been playing.
Cool. You can start off.
Do you want me to start?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Again, I've been playing some Assassin's Creed, but I don't want to stay on that too long because that's the same game I've been playing last week. I'm now at Nassau, which is the town after Havana, and again, I'm just going all out, getting every single element of that town that I can. That game's awesome.
You're right.
It really is awesome.
And you fought it for how long and for how many times?
Well, you know what? I don't know what the other ones were like, but let me say, once I started sailing, and I got to an island where I could start hunting, I was like,
this is awesome.
Red Dead Redemption memories.
Right. And so for those of you that haven't played Assassin's Creed 4 yet, I played all of them, and it took me so long to get you to finally play one, but who haven't really gone into the Assassin's Creed universe, it doesn't follow Desmond really anymore. It's after that. So you don't have to worry about that as much. Plus, it's much more open world, and you can do a lot more with it. So those of you that got really bored, like me, with 3 and Revelations, which Revelations I think was the worst thing to happen to Assassin's Creed. Don't worry, give it a chance, play it. You'll probably absolutely love it. It's a little bit different than 2, which was my favorite, because it's much more open world. I think it's a lot of people's favorites. But with the things, like you said, the pirate ships, the hunting, the things that actually make you explore the world and feel like you're a pirate on the open seas and you have the freedom. And that's what I think they wanted to get out of it.
You know what? I haven't even gotten around to it yet either. And I know it's going to be a huge part of it, but finding treasure maps. And eventually,
that's it?
I haven't done it yet.
That's so cool. It's actually, so what's really cool is you find the treasure map, and there's the coordinates on the bottom part of it. So you put that in your coordinates, you go there, and it's usually an island. And so now you have to roam around the island and see if you can find the landmark, that it was supposed to actually represent. Yeah. And that's actually really, you're going to love that.
Yeah. That is an awesome game. If you haven't played an Assassin's Creed before, I think this is a really great one to start with. It really kind of refreshes the storyline while also having some callbacks to the previous trilogy. So
we got a really full house today.
That is the one. We do have a full house today, and we're getting a lot of people coming in. So welcome. What was it? No, it's recording. So moving on from there, the other game that I'm playing right now is Tearaway, and I forgot to touch on this during NPD, but that only sold 12,000 units, and I'm going to tell you why that's an enormous disappointment. This is such a great game. Media Molecule, I think most PlayStation guys on here will know them for Little Big Planet. This is their new franchise for the Vita, and it uses every single aspect of the Vita in an interesting way. It uses the back touch, it uses the front and rear camera, it uses the gyroscope, it uses the touchscreen for cutting out paper elements. It's so charming, and the kind of the theme behind it of this little character named Iota who is delivering a message to you outside the game world is so interesting, because when you start the game, the idea is that you're like outside the Vita, and this is a world inside of it. This paper world is inside the Vita, and you are kind of breaking through, and you're releasing kind of harmful elements into their world, which are called scraps. And then Iota is this hero who has to defend his world against the elements that you're introducing into their world, while also trying to get to you and deliver a message to you. I don't know what that message is yet, but I've heard really cool, interesting things about what it turns out to be, and that it's actually very satisfying. This game, it's beautiful. It just, the style that they're doing with all this paper mache, everything in the world is made out of paper, including, like, if you step in water, the ripples are paper elements that kind of protrude out, and then like if rain comes down, it's little pieces of paper that hit the ground and then splashes of paper. Like it's just I literally can sit there and stare at the screen, and it's remarkable. Like this just shows like a Vita is not even as powerful as a PS3, and this is one of the most one of the best looking titles I've seen this year.
Like, it's really cute too for girls.
Yeah, she was watching me play it, and she was like,
really cute. You get to take pictures of things.
Yeah, a lot of pictures, because that's another element is that
squirrels.
In the world, there's a lot of things that have lost their color, they're just plain white, and you want to introduce the color back in the world, and the way to do that is to pull out your camera and take a picture of it so that you can introduce the color back into that object. And you use the Vita just like a camera, where you have to like literally pan around and look and stuff, and then you have to take pictures. You can take selfies, which is awesome, and like you can
really cool.
And you can customize Iota in any way you want. People have been doing amazing like superhero costumes and whatnot, because all you got to do is go into your little paper table and you can cut out anything you want and stick it on Iota. So it's almost like I'm talking about Tearaway for people that are just joining us, which is developed by Media Molecule. So it's taking that almost that Sackboy customization almost to another level. It's actually even more customizable than Sackboy. So this game is beautiful, and it didn't sell well. It only sold 12,000 units. I'm not sure if they.
Really, it's so clever.
It is really clever. So if you have a Vita and you have not bought this title, it is $20 right now at GameStop and Amazon.
How mad are you?
I'm mad because I bought it for $35, but I'm not that mad because it is a great game.
Right.
I'm like 25% in. Mark just posted the link to their site. Please check out that title. Support Media Molecule.
It really is good.
So that they bring an amazing new IP to PS4. They deserve our support. They're one of the most creative studios right now. And finally, this is something that me and you played together. A game I've never played before. Borderlands 2.
I love this game.
It was free on PlayStation Plus.
Thank you, Scott.
Right.
So why don't you kind of go a little bit into Borderlands 2, because you are more knowledgeable.
So many people out here. I'm praying that you guys have played it. Borderlands 2 is great. It combines all the great parts of a shooter with all the great elements of an RPG like Skyrim. You're going to go into the world and you're going to get. I think they said there's 1 trillion guns or something like that. There's literally so because what happens
modifications and stuff.
There's so many modifications. If you saw, none of the guns that you have look alike.
Yeah.
And if you saw you actually quit out before I actually got some of the really cooler ones. We had to play again. There's so many different things they have, and they have so many different abilities, and it's gonna on top of your abilities that you have that enhance those as well. Plus the characters are amazing. I'll tell you right now, it has 2 of my favorite characters ever of any video game ever created.
One of them is that villain.
Is Handsome Jack.
Yeah.
Perfect. He sounds just like John H. Benjamin.
Who's that?
The guy that does Archer.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And I can't remember the other show on
Bob's Burgers.
Bob's Burgers. Well, there was another show on before that.
Yeah.
Home Movies.
Okay.
Coach something on Home Movies. But anyway, he's absolutely hilarious. As well as Tiny Tina, the most controversial little girl in video game history.
Sorry, 1 second. I just want to touch on. Someone was asking about Tearaway PS Plus. It is not on PlayStation Plus, but there is a sale on it right now on Amazon and GameStop. They're selling Tearaway for $20. If you have not bought that game, do it right now. It's an amazing title. So Borderlands is great. And that's actually going to pull me into. We're going to start. We're getting actually a follow. We have some people that actually seem to watch us every week and have talked to us, outside of the show. We want to say thank you for that as well. But we're also going to start doing playdates. Yeah.
And I think that one's going to be my playdate this week. And on top of that, anybody that gets at us on our Twitter account, Mark, you want to plug that in real quick? Anybody that has a PS3 and has Borderlands 2, whether you got it for free thank you, Coach McGurk on Home Movies. It's gonna kill me until I remember that. But anybody that has,
do you want to give out your PSN? Is that something we should do? Do you want to do that?
Yeah, I can give out my PSN.
We have 100 people right now.
Yeah. So anybody that wants to add me on PlayStation Network, mine's really easy. Noob Guru, NOOBGURU.
And if you
want, easy. That's not easy.
How's that not easy?
No.
What is easy?
I'm very easy because I'm the one running this Twitch stream. But if you don't know, I'm Drew M1788. That is my PlayStation Network ID. So you can add me as well. Or you can add us on Twitter or Facebook, as you know as well.
But we're gonna host playmates, and even on top of that, if anybody wants to play with me, the DLC comes out this Tuesday. So Tuesday night, I think I'm gonna host a playdate for Borderlands 2. Anybody wants to play with me, I'll actually buy you the Christmas DLC. It's $3. So let me know if you want it. You can play with me, and you guys will be able to play with me as well as get the DLC for the Christmas thing. Somebody who just said that? Who's Chaos?
Chaos Emerald.
Chaos Emerald. Congratulations, you got our Slender The Arrival game code. It looks like
nice.
So I hope you enjoy it. I don't know if you have a Twitch account that you host on. If you want to host yourself playing it, we'll advertise you on all of our stuff.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Play it. That's actually a really cool thing to do. So get at us, get on Twitter or something like that. And
there's one other game that you played. Do you want to talk about the other game you played?
Battlefield 4.
Yeah.
Which we talked about at the beginning with all the issues. I love Battlefield. I'm a Battlefield person. Nothing against Call of Duty. I just got bored of it. But Battlefield's definitely a game As you see, we have a good amount of friends, and I'm all about playing games with friends. So when you have a good group of friends to play with, Battlefield 4 definitely takes a cake.
Oh yeah.
Overall, easily.
Even with the online problems right now.
Even with the online problems. I mean, I'll tell you right now, it's going to be a little frustrating because a lot of people, especially on the new consoles, have been getting kicked out of the servers.
Yeah.
Or anything like that. But on PS3, I don't have as bad of a problem with the premium accounts and stuff like that. It's more of an issue.
Well, now, let me ask you, what do you like about Battlefield 4 more than Call of Duty? What's the thing that really attracts you more to that series than Call of Duty?
It forces you to play as a team. So it's definitely a team-based game. You can't just pretend to do lone wolf. And there are people that do it. And heck, I even do it once in a while. I'll play lone wolf and I'll be a sniper. But even while being a sniper, even though I'm just picking off guys left and right, I'm focusing at areas of interest. So if I'm playing rush or whatever, obviously I'm defending my point, but I'm also tagging my enemies, so my other players that are closer to them can see them easier. It's overall, and plus it's such a huge open area. It feels more like a battlefield than a tiny little sandbox that you're running around with toy guns.
Gotcha.
So overall, I love that game. But
you know what? We haven't taken any calls. How about we try this out and find out what other people have been playing this past week?
Yeah.
So I'm going to open up.
I feel bad that we haven't taken any calls. So
how about we start that right now?
No prank calls.
Yeah, that's going to happen.
Yeah.
No
so
pranks.
I just activated our call-in number. Cool. It is 856-244-1656. Call us and share what you've been playing this week. Now you know what we've been playing. We got Assassin's Creed, Tearaway, Borderlands, and Battlefield 4. Those are our games we've been playing this week, so we want to find out what you've been playing. So call us in right now.
Cool.
What do you want to talk about in the meantime while we're waiting for calls?
When you were a little kid and you would go out to someone's house and knock on their door and ask them to come play with you. Now, when you're gaming, it's like, let's play, and you do it on the television. But before,
no, I mean that's something. I mean, local multiplayer is something that's.
The world has changed.
But what's the one? There's a title. Is it Destiny that has local multiplayer? Let me take this first.
Philly fan.
Woo! Hey, welcome to the Level Up Show. How you doing?
Pretty good. How are you?
Doing great, man. What's up?
Not much. I'm watching the show and you were wondering what people have been playing.
Thank you. Thank you very much. What have you been playing?
Actually, I got an Xbox One. This is Ghost Games. I don't know if you've been seeing me post it or not.
Okay.
Okay, cool. What have you been playing on Xbox One?
Glad to see you back, too.
There's a lot of feedback.
What's it called?
No, Forza 5 is like the main one.
Okay. How do you feel about Forza with all the microtransactions and whatnot?
I mean, it's kind of bad. I mean, I probably won't get everything.
Okay.
I do know they're coming up with that patch that's supposed to, add some more modes and stuff like that. So that'd be good.
Is there anything else that you got at launch for Xbox One besides Forza?
I got Dead Rising 3.
Okay, cool.
And that's a good game, but I've been kind of like, I don't know, I haven't played that one as much because then I bought Assassin's Creed 4 and I never got to play that on the, 360 or PS3.
Sorry, we're getting some ridiculous Kristen moments here.
But yeah, Assassin's Creed's good though. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if you heard us before. I'm sure you did. I didn't like the old ones, but the new one's phenomenal. So
yeah.
I didn't even like the whole shit thing in the third one, but the fourth one is just so much better with it.
Yeah, definitely. I'm really enjoying this is my first entry into the series, and I'm really enjoying it so far. Is there anything else that you're playing, man?
Well, I got Ghost too.
Okay. Yeah. How are you enjoying it?
I haven't really played it much.
Not really played it, yeah. There's a decent amount to play at launch, so
yeah.
So you can be spread pretty thin right now.
Yeah, there wasn't there wasn't too much at launch. I mean, the other thing I bought was that Food Tycoon, and that's mainly for my 2-year-old daughter to look at the animals.
Were you the one saying about how that you can't install, you can't do anything on it because there's no space?
Yeah, once you get to a certain point, it won't let you build any more onto it.
Huh. That's really unfortunate and kind of defeating every purpose.
It starts getting laggy, so that's kind of the cutoff limit. I'm imagine they could probably optimize it better where you can do more, but I don't know if they're going to do that.
Yeah.
Huh. Cool.
All right, man. Thanks for calling in. Thanks for sharing.
Oh, no problem.
All right, take care.
All right, you too.
Cool. Great, good call.
Anyone else want to call in and share what they've been playing?
Yeah, we'll take one more call before we go into the next section, I think. So
that wasn't the best quality there, but what he was saying that he was been playing is he's been playing Forza, Ghosts, Assassin's Creed. He had an Xbox One actually. He was an Xbox One guy. So it's cool that we have. I wonder if he has a PS4 at all.
Yeah, I actually didn't ask him if he actually was watching this on his PS4, Xbox One, or what. So thank you for watching regardless.
Yeah, thank you so much, man. Thanks for calling in. Anyone else want to call in? It's 856-244-1656.
Yeah, let us know what you guys have been playing.
We'll take one more call, I think, before
this
we
will
move
be
on.
our last one before we do it. There you go.
Here we go.
Hey, you're on the Level Up Show. What's going on?
Hello?
Hey, how you doing? What you been playing, man?
Hey, Resogun.
Resogun. My first episode of this show, we talked about Resogun for a while because, in my opinion, that's the best game of the PlayStation 4 launch.
Keeper detected.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
How far are you? Are you actually like you platinumed it or anything like that?
I'm on Master. I've done a lot of the trophies, and I'm ranked like 240 in the world on arcade.
Nice.
There you go.
Very nice.
You were up there, weren't you?
I mean, I don't know what I am now. At one point, I was like 20-something.
Dang.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I'm actually really good at that game, but that's because like I'm nuts with that game, man. Like I go for perfect runs. Like no humans dying, no bombs used, no deaths, no multiplier losses. I platinumed it. Yeah, so I love that game. I'm completely with you.
Absolutely. It's a phenomenal game. I just got my Game Informer yesterday.
Yeah.
And I think they rated it an 8.
That's under what I would rate
underrated, because apparently, and that's actually, I think if I remember right, if I was looking at Mega, what's it called, where they get all the review scores together.
Metacritic.
Metacritic. They actually had, I think it had a much higher rating than that, but Game Informer was one of the lower ones for it. It has the highest rating of other games.
You probably know this, but what's really funny about Game Informer is they rated Knack in 8.75, the highest rated game of launch.
Really? Which I think you agree with.
Did you see that? Did you see that it was rated 8.75?
Yeah, I saw that, and I saw that all the Xbox One launches were really low as well.
Yeah, they weren't. I think there was a few in the 8s, but I think Knack was like the highest rated game in Game Informer.
Right.
Which I'm not going to argue with. I love that game. It's a really good game.
I have to ask you though. I'm guessing you have PS Plus. Then, did you get to play Warframe yet?
Yes.
Now, what are your thoughts on that game? Because I haven't actually met one person that's played it yet, and I was really interested in that one.
I didn't play it for a very long time, so I guess that means it didn't really captivate me too much.
Okay.
But, it was kind of poorly made.
Okay.
Yeah.
In my opinion, the controls are difficult.
Okay. So it's a little unfortunate, because it actually looked really interesting from the trailers and the description and everything like that, but...
I'm not going to lie, I don't really have much interest in it either, to be honest with you.
The last one, so just put it
down. In Resogun, what ship are you using? What's like your number one ship?
The first ship.
The first one, the fast one?
I don't want him to call her. What is the name of that ship?
I think I know which one you're talking about, though. The one that's kind of really fast and agile?
Yeah. Yeah, it's really nimble, really fast.
Yeah.
Has a good,
That's what I beat the game with, but it's interesting to play the other ships in Resogun because they're so different. Especially the Phobos, which is the big, like, powerful one. It completely changes the game, the way you play it. So, if you haven't yet, try out the other ships.
Yeah, I tried playing with the Phobos, and it was insane how powerful it was, but yet I couldn't get around the map fast enough.
yeah, it's a lot slower, yeah. But yeah, man, thanks for calling in.
Absolutely.
All right, see you, man. Take care.
Bye.
All right, bye.
Great. I'm gonna shut off the number for now.
Did everyone like my Samara?
Yeah. That was distracting.
Yeah. Next time, warn us when you're going to do that. That was so. I was laughing.
That was. I couldn't even focus on the call.
I know. I felt bad because Ghost was talking to us about Assassin's Creed. And I'll be honest with you, Ghost. I'm guessing that you were talking about Assassin's Creed. I don't know.
I can't be sure
because I was laughing. I'm not gonna lie. That was really weird.
Sorry about that.
Killer really needs to speak to me.
That's also why I don't want to encourage it.
Yeah.
Kind of creepy.
I'm feeling a little hesitant. Right. Killer, especially because your name's Killer. Sorry, Killer Daniel. I don't want you talking to my fiance.
That's almost as bad as if his name was Dexter.
Yeah. All right. So that's it. Well, we'll have more calls later. Let's move on.
Yeah, we're gonna get into it. So this is gonna be. We're gonna start some new segments of the show. We're realizing it's getting a little. We want a little bit more organized and some little stuff to.
And this one's called
Blast from the Past. So
just let's explain again what this is. This is our second week doing this, and pretty much what it is we're gonna take a title from doesn't have to be like SNES era. It just has to be in the past, relatively far ago, that we feel kind of maybe changed the industry in some way, or at least changed it for us.
Right, and let's put it out there too. It's not going to be the cliche, typical. We're probably not going to talk about Mario. We're not going to talk about Zelda.
Yeah.
For the most part, we're going to talk about a game that was kind of almost underrated in a way, or at least forgotten for the most part.
Yeah.
So
I'm going to play some music from this title for you.
No one's going to know this, and this is my game.
I think everyone is going to guess Halo because it sounds just like Halo.
Right.
So why don't you say what it is?
I'll tell you right now. Actually, if someone can guess this, I'm going to start talking about it in a second. If anybody can get this, I'll give you another code for Slender the Arrival, and I'll give it specifically to you if you can get this.
Yeah, somebody.
This will be very impressive if you know what this is. So let's be quiet for a second, see if they know what it is.
Yeah, I'm going to give it a chance here.
That was... Yeah.
Anybody? Can anybody guess what game this is?
Even guess a random game. Alright, so...
Not Metal Gear Solid.
I'm actually going to play this other song as well.
I don't think anyone's going to get it.
I don't think anyone's going to get it. Yeah, no one knows what it is.
All right, so no codes for any of you.
No codes for anybody, and I knew it was going to be a reach. It's not Skyrim. Oh my God! Oh! Okay, do me a favor, please. I want to hug you right now. Message us. I have no idea how you guessed that.
Coming in at the end.
That was awesome. We were about to end it. Adam Balakay.
Why don't you add me on PSN, and I will send the code directly to you. If you're on PSN.
Yes. Yeah, personal message, Drew. Add him on his PSN as well.
Actually, the person who guessed it is our good friend Dan.
That's so beat.
Really?
That's what I was trying to tell you.
Really?
Well, that kind of ruined.
That kind of ruined. All right, so he was right. It was Freedom Fighters.
And he ruined that. So no codes.
Real codes. What a
the guy behind us. This asshole here, named Dan,
right,
was the one who guessed it.
That's so
because he knew.
Right.
So, all right.
But yeah. So anyway, Freedom Fighters.
Oh.
Great. No codes were given away.
All right. So, guys, talk about this game.
Anyway, Freedom Fighters. If anybody hasn't played it, PS2 game, Xbox game, the original Xbox, as well as GameCube. I think it was on GameCube. I know it was on PC.
It was developed by EA, right?
It was developed by EA originally. This game, I was obsessed with it, man. I love this game. If those of you don't know what it is, it's a third-person shooter. And basically, you have the world has been taken over by Russians, but you're not in some little crap town. You are in New York City. They have invaded by subs, and you are basically the apartments. At the beginning of the game has Russian soldiers ransacking random apartments. So it's pretty cool, and you basically get forced underground. You have a little tiny resistance, and it's not just a basic go here, do this story mode. It's a lot of people are going to think of like Homefront, or something like that, which was an interesting game, but it was much more user choice based. So you were able to choose where you wanted to go, what you wanted to do, and how you wanted to do it. And each thing had, just like you talked about with Chrono Trigger last week, its own consequences for the end of the game.
Yeah.
So, like I was explaining before, earlier to you, because you don't remember it as well as I do, you would go in and you would have your choice of different areas that you had to attack. And they were all to take over one certain section. So you could take over, you can attack one place, and your objective is to destroy, a truck depot.
Yeah.
And the benefit to that is the other areas that you would go to now have less soldiers, and they wouldn't keep getting resupplied with those. So it would make the other areas, easier. But that area was harder on its own because one of the other areas that you could destroy first was the weapons factory or the weapons shipment area. Mm-hmm. So that when you go to destroy this bus depot, not only do they have a ton of people there, but they also have bazookas and heavy machine guns. So your choices mattered in the end game. And then all of a sudden, obviously a normal twist, but it was a twist unlike any other one. And I feel like this game really changed, and I think it wasn't really played upon until more recently. Then make it sound better. It is an amazing game. I looked at. It's funny. I haven't looked at that game in years, and we were just looking at the trailer that Mark posted up, and my God, has it not aged well?
Yeah,
it has aged so poorly, but
like
it was still at the time, right? It's like GoldenEye.
From that age.
Oh my God!
We have 162 people now, so we've climbed up a little bit in the last 10 minutes.
Right.
And I see a lot of people asking for codes. We are giving away one more code at the end of the stream for Doki Doki Universe. It's a cross-buy game for PlayStation Vita, PlayStation 3, and also PlayStation 4. You can get it on all 3 platforms with one code. We're giving that away at the end of the stream. If you want to have an opportunity at that, you have to tweet. You have to follow us on Twitter at The Level Up Show, level spelled LVL. And once you follow us, you have to tweet at us, #Bogie, BOGIE. That's the name of our dog, just so you know. So hashtag at that, tweet it at The Level Up Show, LVL, and you have an opportunity to win Doki Doki Universe for PSV, PS3, and PS4. So that's coming at the end of the stream.
But so that was our Blast from the Past.
And we're going to start another segment this week.
Right.
So go ahead. You're going to start this one.
This is for me. Actually, Homefront 2, new developer. I pray to God I wanted that game to be so much better than it actually was. But new segment is going to be called What Could Have Been. So
more music from this game now? Go ahead. Let's go ahead.
So we're going to be talking actually this week about, basically, let's go into it. What Could Have Been is going to be a segment where we talk about a game that had been talked about, had been shown off even, or even almost released, somewhat like, South Park so far, the South Park game, where it just never has come out. It kept getting pushed off and pushed off and pushed off, and it seems like it's in, indefinite purgatory. So this week, for the first week, I think it's going to be almost an obvious one. StarCraft Ghost. For those of you who are PC players and still play the game, it's such a disappointing thing because it sounded, especially at the time, so promising, and it just didn't ever come to fruition.
Yeah.
And what's really depressing about that is that the potential that it had on the change of the gaming industry for the time would have been great. The more and more I remember reading about it and actually looking into it, it was basically, for those of you who have played it, Splinter Cell Blacklist was essentially what this game would have been, just with the StarCraft Ghost character from that universe. Essentially, you would have been playing the role of a woman ghost in StarCraft, and there would be very little gun usage unless you wanted it to be, which would make it much harder on yourself. But it would be completely, silent espionage. You would try to go undercover, you'd have your cloak ability like you do in the game, and you'd be able to call in tactical nuke in certain areas. But you had to sneak around, the Zerg and the Protoss and even other enemy Terrans. And eventually you would be able to get, a flamethrower or a shotgun. But it just wasn't how it was intended to be played. It was there for the people that wanted to play that way.
So what happened? What happened to this game? Why didn't it come? Do you know?
I don't know if anybody has an exact reasoning for it yet. It just kept getting pushed back. At one time, I have honestly no idea anymore.
Is it one of those things that could actually still come, or is it just it's done?
It's technically not even canceled.
Yeah.
It's technically not canceled. It's on. The last week, I think anybody said anything official on it. It was indefinitely suspended. It was on indefinite suspension.
Yeah.
So it means they're likely not going to touch it, but they could go back to it.
The thing is, that was before StarCraft 2, right?
That was before StarCraft. Well before StarCraft 2.
It's pretty much probably dead. StarCraft 2 was their
Here's
StarCraft
the thing.
title.
The only way it would be completely dead or awful is if they just don't. They would have to rework the entire game.
Yeah.
Anything they had already written, any coding or anything like that, has to be trashed, and they just have to basically take the concept and just go.
Yep.
So.
That'll be our blast from the past. Or actually, sorry, that would be our what could have been for this week.
Right.
We're gonna be doing that each week. All right. What's our next segment here?
Kristen says, "Be nice."
So next we want to talk about
the topic of the week.
Topic of the week, and for me, I kind of decided on this. I wanted to talk about the effect microtransactions are going to have on this generation, and I think this is a topic right now because of this Forza talk. A lot of people are kind of, and Gran Turismo as well. Forza kind of. People are really disappointed with the monetary kind of system that they put in place this time around. It's a lot different. than last time, and like sometimes like, you mean legitimately if you want to buy certain cars and you don't have the time to put in to earn like the tokens or coins or cash within the game, it will literally cost you over $100 of real like money, like cash, to buy these, and that's just like that's okay if the system in place in the game you can earn that quickly.
And I'm okay with that.
But that's supposedly not the case.
Right, and that's where I have an issue with it, and I never liked that. Call of Duty was doing it for a while, and they still are doing it. But that being said, I think microtransactions, even pay-to-play and free-to-play models have a great place in gaming. And I have my very own distinct views on it than you do.
Yeah.
So you can go into why you don't like it, and then we can go from there.
Well, it's not that I don't like it. I think there's a place for it. Free to play worries me a little bit because that's I think where microtransactions are going to kind of own the space. Right. And it all comes down to what the developer chooses. And some of them are going to just nickel and dime the hell out of us, and some of them are going to do legitimate, interesting systems in order to like promote like a community aspect. It's not that it always has to be a terrible thing. There's instances where it's going to promote this like auction community like type stuff where you can have cool things going on, and that might have been what you were going to talk about. Right. But I'm fearful that that's not going to happen. You're going to see a lot of horse armor and just ridiculous, nickel and diming left and right. Paying for experience points within Call of Duty so that you can jump up and level quickly. Stuff like that worries me. Where you're literally paying for like weapons and stuff that like puts you on the same level as people within the game. People that don't have the time to put in the experience and get these weapons legitimately, they're going to have to spend money to buy them.
So it's all about personal responsibility as a publisher, as a development team, as a developer. I'll tell you right now, my fear is for what Activision's going to do with it.
Yeah.
But my relief is going to be for people like Rockstar. Yeah. And even honestly EA, I think will be okay with it in a little bit if they at least go with this new, almost appease the people, approach that they've been doing for the past couple of years, which is not what they used to do. Yeah. And microtransactions are going to ruin games in many ways. And yes, it's going. It's not going to ruin games. No. It's going to change games. And here's why I like it. Perfect example is going to be Elder Scrolls. Yeah. Are you going to buy Elder Scrolls?
No, probably not.
No. What if it was free to play?
I would try it.
Right.
Obviously.
You would play it.
Yeah.
Right. So in a situation like that, it's great. Now, let's say you are a very honest person in that you don't like buying used games even.
No, I don't.
No, because why is that?
I just feel like I'm duping the developer.
Right, so they don't get the money out of it. So if you don't know that you're going to want a game, you probably aren't going to buy it, or you're going to buy it used, and that's not going to really benefit the developer. No. So in their standpoint, it's better to make a game free to play for at least a little while, and then if you like it, if let's say Elder Scrolls became a game that you were really into, or at least moderately into, would you pay to unlock certain abilities that I had in the game? Would you pay like $10?
See, this is where it comes into play, and this happens a lot with like mobile games for me right now. That I'm so like stubborn. I get to a point where if for instance, let's talk Candy Crush for instance. Like there's a free to play version and you get to the point obviously where you need to pay for the next levels. I wanted to keep playing that game, but I was so stubborn. I'm like, I'm not giving you $1.
Right, and there's a difference. And you got to remember too, you're talking about an iPad game, which don't take it wrong. The iPad games, a lot of these have a lot of development time that go into it, but you're talking about a game that normally you would legitimately play. Let's even take Borderlands 2. Yeah. Right? You would not give that a chance until it became free on PS Plus. Now that you're playing it, and I'm not sure, you only played it for like a couple hours. But if we played it more and it became a game that you liked, and I wanted to buy, let's say, this $3 map, would you pay $3 for this map?
If you bought it and I had to buy it in order to play with you, then probably.
Right. Yeah. And so that's where it's going to be, is that we're going to have to hope that developers and publishers are putting stuff out there in microtransactions that are worth buying, like you said.
Let me say, do you consider a map pack a microtransaction?
I call that macro transaction.
Yeah, it kind of is, and and even to a bigger extent, when I said macro transactions on the outline here, I was talking about $100 for a car. That's a macro transaction. That's not a micro transaction.
And I don't like that. No, yeah. So take two. free to play. I'm thinking free to play or microtransactions and free to play games like World of Warcraft. I think is even free to play for a little while right now, right?
I have no idea.
You've been at
World of Warcraft. Is that what you said?
Even Star Wars: The Old Republic.
World of Warcraft has a free. A lot of these MMORPGs have a certain
DC Universe Online.
DC Universe Online. Final Fantasy 14 is not, but you can get it for like $10, and then the first month is free. Stuff like that. A lot of these like MMORPGs are doing like free for a certain period or free to a certain level, something like that. So you have some of that, and then you get people in, and then that's where you start nickel and diming them. I think with MMORPGs, it's a part of the. That's what you're getting into for the most part. I think that's okay. It's when I start getting into the idea of like Call of Duty, putting like experience points and stuff like that, putting monetary values to like 100
and that
or
I don't
1,000
like.
or something like that. That scares me a little bit.
Here's what I don't like is when you can pay to buy experience.
Yeah.
So there are people out there for God knows what reason that will pay $150 for a copy of Call of Duty 3 days before it comes out.
Yeah.
And I don't understand that. So they're definitely the type of people that would they would pay $100 for ranking up their character all the way without even having to play it, just because they would have all the stuff.
Yeah.
What I don't mind is paying to get guns, that maybe see there's a fine line that you have to turn, and I don't even want to get into how they would do it because I don't even know how you make it fair.
Let's talk about like the map packs, for instance. If they could do something similar to that, where like you have certain weapons that you buy, but only the people that buy that weapon, the only people that can play with that person are people that also have that weapon. So you're not like disrupting.
That would
you're not disrupting the play space to like where you have these people that are so overpowered because they want to spend $5 for this insane weapon or whatnot. I feel like there has to be a little bit of separation and whatnot. Killzone Shadowfall might be a good example of this because you create war zones. So let's say you're somebody that wants to create a war zone that doesn't allow these weapons because they're weapons that you bought off the store or something like that, and you're like, I don't want to play with people that have that. That's a way around it. Being able to customize your war zones to only allow this map, this weapon, so that you are playing with people that you want to play with. That's a good way of doing it.
And that's a great way of doing it. And I'll tell you right now, it's going to be great, not for even shooters and stuff like that, but at online adventure games. Things like Titanfall, are going to be ones that are going to be harder to micromanage, but games like Destiny, I think, are going to be perfect for microtransactions.
No, I agree.
I feel like if they have they even said anything about microtransactions? I feel like that's a game that definitely would be looking into.
I have a feeling and I have no problem with this because this is something that does not affect the game whatsoever. But like costumes, emblems, ships, stuff that is pretty much just visual, like show off stuff. Like look at me. That's okay if you're willing to spend 50 cents for that. Good for you. Like you doll yourself up within the game and do whatever you want. But when it starts getting into like the weapons and stuff like that that not everyone has, and it completely disrupts the balance of the game, that's where you start getting into a bad direction. And let me say right now, I have no issues with downloadable content as long as it's worth the price that they list. Last of Us, I won't be getting the downloadable content. It'll probably be $10. I think that's appropriate. It'll probably be 2 or 3 hours. I'll pay you that for 2 to 3 hours. And if you start getting into 30 hours for Ground Zeroes, which could turn out to be pretty much just a downloadable content, if I'm paying $30 for 3 hours of that game, I'm not gonna be happy.
And that's where it's all about, like I said at the beginning, personal responsibility of the publisher and the developer. You're gonna have to hope that these guys, and they're not going to. I'll tell you right now, I know they're not. But the idea of what they could potentially do, and this is expanding the universe. You're gonna be able to see companies like the reason that Call of Duty is not only taking the world by storm. They have the popularity of it, but they're making more money than normal. Is they're able to make more money after they actually release the game by knowing people are going to buy $60 worth of content. They're going to buy the game twice. Yeah. Because they're going to get all these map packs.
And they literally have development teams that are completely devoted to just map packs.
They have the people that make the game itself and people that just make the online. They actually have people that just make the multiplayer maps.
Yeah, it's funny when you look at the Vita had Call of Duty Declassified. Now, after the minor success that was, it's still decent at launch because it was a Call of Duty title, but Call of Duty is going to look at that and they're going to say, okay, we have a team here. We can either put that team on a Vita title, Vita Call of Duty, or we can put that team on a map pack that 50% of Call of Duty players are going to buy for $15. They're going to put them on the map pack. Right. It's the way it is.
Someone else, and here's actually one way that it's going to be done very well. And this is, I can't remember who just said it on there. I think Nathan something on there was just talking about it. Talk about how Battlefield has, right? Well, he said talk about how Battlefield has, Call of Duty and Chokehold. I don't agree with that, saying yet, unfortunately.
No. They didn't sell as much as MPD.
Battlefield is a perfect example of how microtransactions would work. So one cool thing they added in Battlefield 4 was battle packs.
Okay.
And so as you're ranking up in a game, just like any other game, as you use one class over and over again, you'll be able to unlock certain weapons. But they wanted to make it a little bit different so that they only allow you. So let's say that there's the recon class and there's 12 guns altogether.
Yeah.
Well, in order to unlock all the guns, you unlock 6 of the guns. By playing the game normally, and then there's these battle packs that give you a chance of unlocking them that you get randomly. You get one battle pack at level, I think, 2 or 4, something like that, another one at level 8, and another one at level 12, and you keep going on, and you keep getting these battle packs that unlock, multiple items, including guns, scopes, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
I think you can actually buy extra battle packs, and if not, that would be perfect. You have so many guns that are random selection,
sure.
That you would not, you can't unlock any other way than getting in a battle pack anyway, and you'll be able to buy that battle pack early.
Yeah.
So a gun, let's say there's a gun, the SV-98 is a gun in Battlefield 4. Let's say SV-98 is a gun, that you have to unlock with a battle pack. You could get it on your first battle pack at level 2, whereas it might take me to level 60, getting another battle pack. So I can just buy a battle pack and randomly happen to get the chance to get the SV-98.
Okay.
Right? So it's almost like a Pokemon card deck. You don't know what you're going to get in there. And that is a perfect way to do microtransactions in a game like
shooter. There's... I think some people are really scared. I see a lot of people in the comments saying it's going to ruin the industry and stuff like that. So I think this is something we can open up the lines for, and hopefully we get some better calls.
I have a question that I told someone I'd ask for them.
Sure.
Okay.
Oh, I thought I copy and pasted it. Hold on. Copy, paste. Okay. Can you ask them if they have heard of the Borderlands 2 phone app that you can scan barcodes and it gives you items?
Yeah, that was Ghost actually asking that earlier. I was going to respond to that. I actually have. I got it the day it came out. It's so broken. It is basically it's an app. It's a QR reader.
Yeah.
But essentially, you just go around to anywhere. I did it. When I was at a store the other day, and I just scanned the code with it, and it just gave me a gun. But the reason that's broken is I'm at level 12, I think, currently on my new character, and Gortos, yes, they do in gold battle packs. Anyway, Borderlands 2, the QR reader, it gives me a gun that's level, I think, 61.
Okay.
So I can't use it. I can't use it for, 50 levels. But it's worth, like, $52,000. So in the game, when you're at level 12, you're only going to have at most probably, like, $8,000, $9,000. So getting randomly $52,000 was huge. So it kind of broke it a little bit, but yeah, I heard of it. It's pretty cool.
Okay. So I'm gonna open up the line real quick. Please call with like legitimate stuff here. We're just trying to talk about microtransactions. Call us. Want to hold up the sign for me, Mike?
Yep.
It's 856.
We're relying on you guys to help keep this going. So if you guys like it,
why are we doing all this? Because they love video games.
Because that's all we do. No, it's not all we do. That's just all we talk about. It seems like.
Alrighty. Hey, welcome to the Level Up Show. How you doing?
I'm doing good. Let's see another show coming up other than the Spartan show.
Oh, thanks, man. What's your opinion on microtransactions right now? Are you encountering any situations where you're pretty disappointed with Forza or Gran Turismo 6 or anything like that?
I'm pretty disappointed that Kristen has shown me them fat titties.
Really?
Oh my god.
That's absolutely pathetic. Here, I'll get this one.
Awesome, unknown caller.
You
To
have to-
accept, press 1.
I'm tired
To
of
send
these
a
prank
voicemail,
phone calls.
Alright, it's getting obnoxious now.
Hey, welcome to the Level Up Show. How you doing?
Pretty good. How you doing, man?
Doing great. What's your opinion on microtransactions, man?
You know what? I'm kind of mixed. I agree with what you had said. I agree with what the other gentleman said. I posted a comment that said I think that they're ruining gaming.
Okay.
Yeah, that was you.
I don't necessarily mean that they're going to ruin gaming as far as it's going to bring the end of the industry or anything like that. But what I mean is, I'm seeing more and more of these different like weapons packs and stuff like that. Even if you look at Assassin's Creed Black Flag, if you look at the little packs that you can buy that lets you skip all the upgrade abilities and all that kind of stuff.
Okay.
I didn't know they had
To
that.
me, that you know what I mean? Like, yeah, you don't have to buy them. It's completely up to you. But at the same time, it's kind of cheap because, you pay $60 for a game. And a lot of games nowadays, they're short to begin with.
Yeah.
So, a microtransaction pack where you buy, say, all of the Jack Dog customizations completely finished, without even doing any of the activities or the labor, that goes into actually acquiring that stuff. It kind of, to me, as a creative developer working on my own game, I kind of feel like giving that kind of attention to a gamer is kind of cheating them out of like the experience that I'm trying to make them feel while they play the game. You know what I mean?
Right.
You're dividing up the experience into whoever wants to buy this, whoever wants to buy that. It's not one experience that you're developing for the player, is what you're saying?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, it's good that it's an option,
Sure.
because maybe there's somebody who plays, say, Battlefield or Call of Duty who, day in and day out, they can't progress in level, or for whatever the case is, and they just want that weapon that otherwise they wouldn't have a means to get.
I wouldn't.
I get that, but I think in order for the microtransactions thing to start working, I think they need to be more substantial.
Right.
Rather than just a couple weapons or a couple new skins for a car or even new vehicles like in Forza.
Mm-hmm. Do you have any ideas?
Actual like new tracks, new multiplayer maps that only these people who buy them have access to.
Yeah, sure.
What I mean?
And Call of Duty has been doing. Sorry. Call of Duty's been doing that very well for the past few years, and it's one of those things where everybody hates talking about Call of Duty at this point, but it's what they've been doing for years, and that's why they've been one of the reasons why they've been able to make so much money.
But he kind of said exactly what I said, is that they need to divide this experience up to the people who choose to buy it, because it's a choice and it ruins the balance.
Well, and they do. So Call of Duty, I mean, the only way to play the new maps is if you buy them. So it sections you off into sections with the other players that buy them.
See, that's good. As long as you can only play, especially if it's weapons. I think especially, right, as long as you are forced to play only with the people that have that.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Like I said, it's an option that's cool that it's there. But I just think, coming from a creative director standpoint, somebody who has been working on a game for close to 5 years, that's including script and the beta and all that stuff. What I'm trying to do is, and people that I've talked to at the E3, people that I know who are in the industry, what I've heard from them is that a lot of people, believe it or not, who are in the industry they're actually not really liking the state of microtransactions right now in game.
No, and I agree with
Is that because the publisher is forcing it on them?
Yes, believe it or not, there's several people that I have recently talked to who said that there are parts of games within the last couple of years that have been left out on purpose in order to make a couple extra bucks.
Yeah.
Games that were completed, and this part of the game was in the game, that the publisher said, no, we're going to take that out, and we're going to charge people more money for that.
Right.
Those kinds of microtransactions, now that's just shady business.
Right, and I completely agree.
I agree with you completely.
And that is what I meant by when I said it's going to ruin it, because if that kind of stuff continues,
right?
Yeah.
You're just going to have, it's just going to, I understand it's a business, it's about money, it's about making money, and it's about, the industry to grow. But on top of that, you can't pull like a game over the consumer.
Right.
Because when it comes down to it, we're the ones that make these companies as big as they are because of what we spend our money on.
Yeah, definitely.
And inevitably, people are going to realize, wait a minute, I'm spending $60 on a game, and now you want me to drop another $50 or $60 on stuff that could have easily been with the game?
Right.
It's just, people are going to wake up eventually and be like, no.
And if that's the only game that you buy a year, like if you're just a Call of Duty guy and you're really not like a hardcore gamer and that's the one game you buy a year, then okay, yeah, you're probably going to not really feel too bad about spending an extra $50. But if you're gamers like I'm sure you are and me and Mike are, then you've got you got to spread that money around, and you're not going to want to be putting another $50 over top of $60 on a game.
Right. Cool. All right, man. Cool. Well,
thank you so much for calling in. That was a lot of great information.
Thanks, guys.
Have a good night, man.
Good luck with the show. You guys are doing a great job.
Oh, thank you, man.
Thank you.
You want to stop there?
Yeah. Well, let's. Right, I'm going to address that real quick. We apologize. We have no workaround for this yet. It's through Playroom. Playroom's music is not touchable. I feel bad that they can't really hear the caller at all.
Okay.
But if there's things you want to hear, believe it or not, if you want to put yourself through listening to this again, we are recording this as a podcast. This will be up later on. Mark will plug it in for you guys that want to listen to it. So if you want to listen to anything like that,
and that'll be on iTunes in the next couple of days, but you can also find it on our Google Drive, which is linked through Twitch.
Tonight.
Yeah, that'll be later tonight, probably.
Right.
But yeah, we're doing the best we can right now. We don't have equipment that'll literally just put the phone calls through to the TV for you. Maybe some point, maybe if Sony gets some better, maybe not even Sony, but Twitch and Sony together get some better software in place, because this isn't something they planned for. The Playroom turned out to be kind of a workaround that people figured out in order to do this. So Sony didn't plan for this, and it's kind of it's growing right now. It's in its infancy. So it might become a lot different in the next couple months.
And talking off of the microtransactions again to end it, I think honestly the best way that they're going to do it is microtransactions need to exist more in the single player experience than they do on the online experience.
Yeah.
Right now, microtransactions and even macrotransactions are focused really on multiplayer, on online, how you interact. They really need to focus. Like let's say in Tomb Raider, there is You could go back. They have even the DLC, the small DLCs. And a lot of these now are not Call of Duty where you pay $15 4 times a year. Look at Assassin's Creed where you buy the season pass where you get all the DLC, for $20 up front, stuff like that. So they need to make, little sections. Let's say in Assassin's Creed, actually, that's an even better one, where, you have the major map, add a new island.
Yeah.
It's like a DLC, but it's almost not because it would only be like a couple bucks. It's probably only a few extra, smaller, projects.
That's the kind of stuff I'm more likely to pay for. Especially something that furthers the story. Like, I talked about it earlier, but The Last of Us. Like, that's something I'm going to buy. I want to further the story. I became invested in these characters. So that's the way to grab me.
Right.
Like, further the story along.
Elder Scrolls Skyrim actually had 3 DLCs, but one of them, do you remember what that was called? Hearthrone? Do you remember? Do you remember that by any chance? What was this? The second DLC with the heart? Hearthrone. There was a second DLC, and all it was really was adding the ability to buy a house and adopt children. Okay. And not really buy a house, but make your own house, design your own house in a way, from preset layouts.
Someone's asking if we have a YouTube channel. You can follow us on Google. Our Plus
we will.
Google is the Level Up Show on Plus. It's actually LVL, the Level Up Show with LVL. Right. But the thing is, that's connected to YouTube, obviously, and we might start doing a video archive since Twitch right now through PS4 doesn't allow you to video archive. We might start recording the video ourselves and throwing it up on YouTube. Hearthfire. We might start putting it up on YouTube ourselves. So maybe look forward to that in the next couple weeks. But right now, there's nothing on our YouTube channel. Just on our Plus profile and Twitter and Facebook and Google Drive and all that.
Right. So I think we kind of covered everything.
Yeah.
Wait, I need to ask one more question.
What's that?
From Ghost. It was about the Steam machine. Will you be discussing that?
We can get into that maybe a little bit more next week.
Yeah.
I'll tell you right now. I probably know more than you do about it.
Yeah, I'm not
and I know,
big into Steam.
I think Mark knows something about it. The Steam machines
and
the Steam OS.
Vaguely. So,
yeah.
Right. So we're gonna go on for that next week, and I'll look more into it because they did release more stuff about the Steam OS this week. I know
that controller's interesting. I'll say that. That's interesting.
And the cool thing about it is the machines you can make. Every different company is going to make their own machine.
Yeah.
So it's going to be interesting. It's basically going to be like cell phones for PCs. Everyone's going to make their own. It's basically another computer. Anyway.
Let's wrap this up. Let me start by just saying we are the Level Up Show. I'm Mike. This is...
What?
I'm Andrew. This is Mike. This is Kristen.
I'm Andrew.
This is Mark.
This is Mark. That's Kristen.
We're on Twitter. Again, I just want to say this one more time for everyone at the end. We're on Twitter at The Level Up Show with level spelled LVL. We're on Facebook at The Level Up Show, and we want to give away this code now.
Right, and I want to say something real
Universe.
quick. We've been.
You guys need to log into the Twitter to figure out.
I can do that.
No, we can do it. He's going to do it in 1 second.
What are our Twitch TV username?
Twitch TV username is The Level Up Show, spelled exactly how it sounds. So hold on 1 sec. I want to get this. Let's pull up Twitter and find out if anyone tweeted at us for this Doki Doki Universe code.
At us? Yeah, so for those of you that did add us, we got a few new people today. Those of you that just were too stubborn to do it, or that you were watching the show, we thank you for just watching the show. Yeah, we did have a contest running. If you added us on Twitter and hashtag Bogey.
I think we only have one.
We only have one.
Yeah, this is the only one I'm seeing, so it's going to this guy.
Awesome.
Not gonna say his full name, but he's at Chaos Engine, so congrats to you, man. And I'm gonna direct message you on Twitter. Is what I'm gonna do. I'll direct message you and I'll give you the code. And you'll get Doki Doki Universe for free on PS3, PS Vita, and PS4. So congrats to you. You were the only one.
Thank you.
But thanks to there was 4 other people that followed us on Twitter. For some reason, you didn't hashtag us for
and
what I can tell.
Know. And we're gonna do. We're still honestly. I'll tell you right now, guys. And we want to thank you again. We can't even do it enough. Thank you for following us. Thank you for watching us. We're still in our infancy.
Yeah.
It's still new to us. We've been doing this on podcasts for, a couple years. We did websites and everything, but this is the first time we did a video stream. We're learning all this stuff as we go.
Yeah.
And so, we want to thank the people that are, giving the real support and are actually making true phone calls.
And just to build a little bit of excitement, I guess, next week we'll be giving away a few more codes. We'll probably give another Steam code away, and we'll also be giving away an Xbox Live monthly subscription, just one free month for Xbox
We're actually going
Live.
to give away 2 Steam codes next week.
2 Steam codes next week.
So we're going to have 3 giveaways
Live.
next week. It's Christmas.
Yeah.
It's Christmas. And then anything else. Actually, I'm going to even add in there an Xbox Arcade title that we're going to add in there. So 2 things for our Xbox fans, because we've been neglecting them.
Yeah,
like the redheaded stepchilds of the game
industry. And Bogey came in to say hi at the very end.
For those of you that have Xbox, we have stuff for you. For those of you that have PCs, we have stuff for you. This week was our PS4 night, so thank you to Chaos.
Add us on iTunes, rate us, maybe? That would be awesome. We don't have really anyone rating us right now, but we'd like to get people on iTunes kind of building.
Ghost wants to
sorry.
Yeah, give away a 14-day trial.
Ghost, go for it, man.
Go for it. So
you are
it's going to be first come, first serve, I guess.
First come, first serve, I think.
Ghost is awesome.
Ghost, thank you so much. You really are cool.
Ghost, you need to not be a ghost, and you need to make yourself known.
Ghost Gamer is awesome.
So,
I love him.
We thank you for your phone call and your dedication to tonight.
I'm going to wait. I want to see if... go ahead, Ghost. I want to see if you post this in there.
Right. But again, next week. Next week's going to be an interesting show.
I don't know yet what we're going to do. I don't have a topic of the week set.
We don't have a topic of the week, but I think next week is going to be our interesting drinking week.
Yeah, that's the idea right now. We don't know if we're going to follow through with this, but we're going to do a Christmas ugly sweater drunken stream probably next week.
Awesome.
So join us and have some holiday cheer,
right.
And we'll probably just have a ridiculous
Wear an ugly sweater. Send this in. Hey, you know what? That's going to be our contest. Get your ugly sweaters prepared.
Yeah.
I have one. I have an ugly sweater, so does Andrew.
You're going to wear that next week.
I will.
Right, but get your ugly sweaters prepared, and we're going to have you send those in for our
Ghost
Twitter.
Games just posted his code. I think that was for Xbox Live, right?
That was
for
for
14 days.
For 14
days. Thank you so much, Ghost. That is awesome. So that wasn't even us. So that's pretty cool. But next week we'll be giving away a month of Xbox Live. Right. So thank you so much to everyone. We'll be on again. I think it'll be next Sunday. But if you want to hear our schedule, we'll be posting updates on Twitter. But next Sunday, 9:30 Eastern Standard Time. Probably. We're also on Facebook. We're on Twitter. We're on Google+. We're on iTunes. Everything is on our Twitch profile,
right.
So follow us, guys.
Mark's going to put it up again. He's going to just plug us shamelessly right now real quick for our Twitter, our Facebook. Add us on all of those. It's the best way to keep up with us. And I run contests.
Philly fan, the Lost Girl is spelled with a capital I at the end.
Oh, that's right. I couldn't remember.
It's a capital I because the Lost Girl was already taken. So it looks like the Lost Girl, but it's actually a capital I at the end. If you want to follow, if you want to add Kristen on PlayStation Network.
Yeah, it's not an I, it's an what is it?
It's an I. It's not an L. It's a capital I.
Right, and don't forget as well, Tuesday night we are going to. I'm going to be doing a Borderlands 2 play session. I'll put my have Mark put my gamer tag up for PS3. So those of you who have Borderlands 2 for PS3 Tuesday night, and if you play with me, if you get to me before the play session, we'll probably start at about 10 o'clock at night. I'll even buy you the new $3 DLC for Borderlands, and you can play with me.
He's Noob Guru. Noob Guru.
Right.
So add him. There you go, Noob Guru on PlayStation Network, and I'm Drew M1788.
Right.
Pretty much exactly how it sounds. So thanks again, guys. We'll see you again next week.
Right.
Take care.
Have a good week. Thank you.
That's a wrap.